Hey there, it's Jason here from Forex. I almost said 1 hour Forex. Oh my God, I'm doing too many videos, ladies and gentlemen. It's Jason here from Forex Pip Snagger and Forex U-Turn. I guess if I said, hey, it's Jason here from 4 Hour Forex or something, you go, what? What's that system? I don't know what that system is. Who knows, one day I might be calling it some other system. Hey, I could be calling it Leo Trader Pro tomorrow. You never know. Okay, anyway, let's get into the setups here. Today is December the 13th, lucky 13, and it's 2011 still. We're getting close to Christmas now, close to the end of the year. I just want to say a reminder that this Friday, that'll be the last day for the setups as the market gets thin and all the traders leave. So I won't be sending setups until January 3rd, I believe. Let's see. Let's take a look at the calendar. Let's see. January. Yeah, it'll be January 3rd. Because Sunday is New Year's, Monday is hangover day. I feel like, you know, we want to start on Tuesday. Okay? So I'll be hungover, I'm sure, on Monday. So on Tuesday, yeah, that's when we'll come back with the setups. Okay. So let's take a look-ski. Okay, so anyway, here is 10 o'clock GMT. Yeah, it basically broke through resistance here, told you to buy right there, and it came right down, and it would have almost hit your stop, but it came back up and give you a few pippies. Woo! Your stop would have been about 35 pips, would have went against you 33, went up here. But you know what? Once it comes down here, everything turns red, line crosses. I tell you in my system, get the hell out. The first warning to get out is when price crosses below the trend line. The second warning is when the trigger line looks like it's converging towards the trend line and about to cross over. That's where you'd get the hell out of Dodge. Okay? So anyway, then it gave another trade setup right here, but from here, if we went back in time, I'm sure it looks right. I know it does. It's because this big long move down that squished the charts up here. Now watch when we go back. Watch. See? Look, see, there's the gap size right there. See? So, if we got in, there was 20 pips to the resistance. So maybe you could have done it. If you would have did it, well, it's 41 pips right up to the pivot up here. The reason why I know the pivot's there is because that's where it went to today of the high. Okay, so that's it for that trade. There was no trading in here. And this thing was a too far, too fast. If you did get in short, you didn't get much of a retracement. But man, if you hung on, woo, did she fall like a mother. Okay, that's it for the Euro 5 minutes. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. Look at that, eh? Look at how beautiful that is, eh, ladies and gentlemen? Look at that. Crosses down, boom, kisses right off the trigger. Boom, kisses right off the trigger. Boom, boom. And then, of course, you know, it runs out of steam and stops doing it, and then it tends to go the other way. But look how many cells you could have bought. Sell, baby, sell, 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 sell. It's just so beautiful. It's just amazing how many years now that traders have been using these stupid two lines to trade off of. It's really crazy. It really is. I'm wondering one day when they're going to change it. And when they change it, I'm going to have to fool around and try and figure out what the hell the next thing is, because they've been using these for years, ladies and gentlemen, for years. This isn't some crazy phenomenon that they're buying and selling off this line here, okay? It's a reality, you know. It's what they're doing. It's what they've been doing for years. They're going to change it one day, I guarantee it, because I heard an old story in the futures market, and I can't exactly remember the moving average, what it was. I think it was a 9 or 11 or an 8. Maybe it was a 5. I just don't remember. But it was in the grain market back in, you know, the 50s and 60s and early 70s. And, you know, if you knew that trick, it's like this right here. Okay, it's like a secret. If you knew this trick, you could make money in the market. Okay. because they bought and sold off of that moving average. Do they do that today in the grain market? No, not at all. Of course not. But they did it for about 30 years. And I've been, looking at Forex since 2005, and I know that they've been doing this since early 2000. And I don't know how long before that. I wasn't a trader back then, but they've been trading off these lines, ladies and gentlemen, for quite some time. Okay? So there's no secret here. And I just happen to, recognize something unique with this, and that's the gap size. Okay? And I put it together, and I put my filter in the bottom to keep you with the trend, and voila! You have Forex Pipsnagger. Anyway, it works, ladies and gentlemen. It works. As you know, it works. Okay, let's scroll back. Sorry to ramble on there, but I just went on for a little tangent there. Okay, where is the sell? The sell would be right there, but in the filter it was black. So, this is, I want to say this to some of you people, you can look at the 1 minute as the same as the 5 minute. Okay, if you get some real slow action, okay, where, if you're just looking at the 1 minute, it will do the exact same thing that they do off the 5 minute. Now, if you look at this chart, okay, look at it. If I didn't show you what time frame it was, can you tell me if it's the 1 minute or the 5 minute? No, it looks like the same. They're basically doing the same thing. They're buying off the trigger, buying off the trend line. Except with the 1 minute, you'll notice that a lot more times price will come up to the trend line more so, okay, like this and this, because on a 5 minute chart, that's where it's almost coming up to the trigger line, if you follow what I'm saying. So what I'm trying to say is, in a downtrend, everything's red, and it's coming back into the trigger. You can sell into these lines if you feel confident enough, just like Pipsnagger. But I never told anybody to do this before, because sometimes the moves on a 1 minute can be very short span. The duration can be very short. So you got to be careful, and you got to know when to buy these little dips into the trigger and when not to. Okay. So anyway, you can do that. But anyway, let's get on with this. There is no trade here. The filter was red. There was a trigger to go long right here. Oh yeah, there was too. It was 10 pips to the top, but to this major resistance, it was only 8 pips. So I wouldn't have done that either, because it basically bounced off of there. So there was no trade there either. There's no trade in here either. So that's it. There was no trades today again. Boy, a lot of days lately there's no scalper trades. Man, that sucks. That really sucks. Bananas. Okay, let's move on to the pound. Alrighty then. Okay, the pound ski is not looking much better. It was very, very choppy, and then they did this little run here today. Yeah, basically it was turning red down here, so you could have sold right into here, and, well, it went up. Then came back down, and maybe could have got out with a couple pips, because it would have scared you up here, that's for sure. And then turned around, went up here, then came down, then they're buying off of this support here, came back up. And here was your trigger to go short if you were brave enough to do it. So if you went short here in the US session, then you got about 50 pips to the bottom. Maximum 50 pips, not saying you got 50 pips. Okay. Don't want anybody emailing me saying that kind of boo-blah. Okay. Let's move on to the Swissy. Oh. Yeah, there was a sell right there. Came up and basically almost got your stop, just like the Euro. And then she came down. Here was the sell again, but I don't know if I would have sold it there, because no, it's only like 12 pips. There was no sell there. You need 25 pips, ladies and gentlemen. Then she went sideways, and then she went right up there, like as you can see, with no retracement into the trigger line. And that's it for Snagger. Let's move on to Forex U-turn. Oh, another ugly, 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 schmugly day. Woo! Okay, we had a flat M, which is not a good one. Okay, we want a sharp, or I mean a W, flat W. We want a sharp W, sharp M, sharp W. That's what we're looking for. Here, it's like There's no trade on here. There's no trade to sell, ladies and gentlemen. It was chopping sideways, and it never gave a proper W or M formation like over here. Okay? It's just no trade. And on the pound, well, the pound gave us a trade, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? It gave us the M right there. So it got you short probably somewhere in here. Okay? Somewhere around 55.80. Okay? Your stop would have been right there. It would have went against you, came back down, and to there, well, you got about 75 pips, so that's not too bad. And you could still be in it, because we could still drop to God knows where. Okay, so that's it for the setups for today. You have a great day. We'll see you on Wednesday, I guess. I think today's Tuesday. Yes, we'll see you on Wednesday. Holy jeez Louise, I don't know what day it is. Okay, have a great day.